Now, we journeyed from Canal onto Bourbon Street. We're standing at Bourbon in Iberville, and I just so happened to run into District Attorney Jason Williams. You're taking your first walk down Bourbon since this tragedy happened. Tell us just your thoughts and feelings right now as you kind of take it all in.
Really, I mean, it's a big moment when you think about the fact that we are not very far from just absolute carnage, just down from where we were standing. But the fact that we got to this point as quickly as we did, we owe a huge debt to the Federal Bureau of Investigation and their experts in counterterrorism. They have poured through volumes and volumes of data, license plate readers, security cameras, public safety cameras, social media posts, internet searches, bank records, to give us a pattern of life of this perpetrator who just brought hell to Bourbon Street, so that we would know whether or not he was a lone wolf or whether he was a part of a cell, which determines how we can move around today and whether or not we can have that great game that we're about to have. So this is a big moment. I'm a little bit emotional because my college-age son was on Bourbon Street hanging out with friends till about 2 o'clock in the morning. This thing happened at 3, so just how close I could have been to a number of parents I've talked to who were looking and not knowing whether or not their loved one was in the hospital getting care or here on this crime scene after that all unfolded. But it's a big moment. What terrorists want to do is they want to change the way that we live. They didn't attack Democrats or Republicans, they attacked Americans. It's our home, but they attacked America. And you know, there's nothing more American than college football. I played football at Tulane. This Georgia-Notre Dame game is the one I've been looking forward to. It's more American than apple pie. And if they could have disrupted that, they would have won. Right, so big thanks to the FBI and their experts for helping us get as close to normal as we can and make sure that everyone is safe on Bourbon Street, at the Superdome, and throughout the rest of the city.
I'm so glad to hear your son's okay. Now tell us, you've been in some of these press conferences. What have you been briefed on so far? And how does the district attorney's office assist in everything that's going on?
You know, I mean, in a moment like this, it reminds me of World War II when Winston Churchill was trying to get British troops out. And he asked for anything that would float and that had an engine to help get that job done. And this is kind of what you see here. We already had a really good blueprint for collaboration. When the new governor came in, I worked really hard to try to find ways that we could collaborate with having the Louisiana State Police and having the Attorney General play a role in helping us improve on our public safety gains from 2023. So that was in place. And then we're able to augment that with the ATF and the FBI to come in and make sure that we're handling that twofold mission. Finding out if this was a sleeper cell or one individual, and making sure that this whole city was safe and all the Superdome was safe for our guests and visitors.
Here you are on Bourbon Street. That definitely sends a message. We have elected officials walking Bourbon Street, law enforcement walking Bourbon Street. There is a message of we are confident that it is safe. Do you feel confident that we are safe in New Orleans?
I do. I mean, I'm here. Obviously, let me say this. The New Orleans Police Department is the best police department in this country. They do not get a lot of credit. They are an undermanned and underwoman police force. We've talked about that a lot. We don't have enough. But when this incident happened, they ran to danger. They put themselves in harm's way to neutralize a threat to a number of people. They saved countless lives. This man had explosives, he had guns, and he used a truck. This truck weighs over 6,000. This was picked because it could cause the most harm. And the NOPD ran to danger. We've all heard instances of police departments freezing in moments of crisis, causing more loss of life. That's not our boys in blue. That's not our men and women in this uniform. They work very, very hard day in and day out to handle more large events than any other place in the country. And when terror came to Bourbon Street, they met it force with force.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you get on with your walk. Good to see you too.